asking for money was hard. And I would be great during business when I'm in the part where I'm here for you. I'm helping you, I'm serving you, I'll teach you, I'll train you, I'll educate you, I'll pamper you, I'll serve you. I'm here for you, right? Good with that part. But then when it came time to ask for the money, ooh, that was a struggle. Hi friends, welcome to the CEO Spot. This is Amy Walker and this is your place to be to get some great business tips and advice and strategies to help you grow your business but still maintain your balance in life and help you love that journey. So today we are talking about increasing your personal value. This was a foreign concept to me when I started in business. You know, I didn't grow up, wasn't raised by entrepreneurs. I didn't grow up in a home where we did any kind of personal development. We went to church, we read scripture, our parents loved us, they told us we were great. I was very blessed to be raised in a loving environment, but we didn't do any kind of personal development. And so I stepped into the business world just bringing with me a mind that had been molded unconsciously, right? Because if we're not consciously teaching our mind what we want it to know, then what we get is a mind that is kind of molded unconsciously. And that's where I was at. So I came into business and here I get in and I start working really hard and I'm just hustling. I feel like I'm serving. I'm working as hard as anyone out there, but guess what? I'm not making as much as everyone else out there. And I'm watching my business stay small. And so I think, okay, well, my parents taught me to be a hard worker, so I'm just gonna work harder. And then my results went like this. And then I thought, I'm just going to work harder. And so I'd keep putting in more and more effort to pretty soon I'm working as hard as I possibly can. And my results are still like this. It was eking along. And I was frustrated and I kind of wanted to throw in the towel and quit. Glad I didn't. But here's what I learned during that time. I got introduced to the world of personal development, and I'm so grateful because I had a challenge in business with asking for money. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but asking for money was hard. And I would be great during business when I'm in the part where I'm here for you. I'm helping you, I'm serving you, I'll teach you, I'll train you, I'll educate you, I'll pamper you, I'll serve you. I'm here for you, right? Good with that part. But then when it came time to ask for the money, ooh, that was a struggle. All of a sudden, my armpits would get kind of sweaty and my throat, I'd have to swallow and clear my throat and cough and I would get nervous and my chest would be pitter-pattering and I struggled with that. And I had to learn that there is a pattern of giving and then receiving. And I struggled with this whole receiving part, the asking for and the receiving part and being comfortable with it and okay with it. I was good as long as I'm giving to you, but I struggled as soon as it came back to me. And so what I recognized as I dug down deep into that and started digging through all my layers of what is this subconscious saying and what's going on in there was that I needed to work on my personal value. I needed to really truly believe that I was someone that was worth investing in and that I could only collect as much as I believed that I deserved. So if I believed that I deserved a whole lot, I could collect a whole lot. If I believed that I deserved a little, I could collect a little. And that personal value piece was critical. Now I know that the worth of souls is great in the sight of God and we're all created equal, and I know that. My mind knows that. My conscious mind knows it and gets it and believes it. But sometimes the subconscious mind has a mind of its own. And that's the part that I was struggling with. It wasn't that I thought I was worthless. My conscious mind knew that I was extremely valuable. But my subconscious mind played tricks. It did things like, ooh, you could never charge $10,000. Who are you to charge $10,000? Do you even know enough? What's your background? You know, I had all of that going on to make me feel like I had to keep my asks small in order for people to say yes. And what was happening was I was experiencing exactly what I was creating. I was getting small returns on large amounts of work because I believed that that was what I deserved. That was my level. That was what I could do. So I had to increase my personal value. And if any of you are relating to this story, you're in the right place. So here's some things that I did during that season to increase my personal value. Number one thing that I did was I started writing love letters to myself. I know that sounds weird, but again, I'd rather be weird and happy than normal and poor and stressed and overwhelmed. So it's weird. But I would write letters to myself that were really nice, like, Amy, you are so amazing. Thank you for all the good things you did today. I'm really proud of you. I want you to know that I noticed when you did XYZ thing, and you are so valuable, and I just appreciate you, and I love you. And that self-acceptance was huge. Oh my gosh, that was huge. The second thing that I did, it was probably one of the hardest, but I made a rule with myself that whenever I caught my reflection in the mirror, that I would stop and tell myself that I was beautiful. So that even included that awkward moment where you're naked in front of the shower and you're trying not to look because things don't look exactly the way you want them to in some of those places that we don't have to see very often. You know what I'm talking about? So that even includes those moments. No matter your weight, this idea that we'll love ourselves when we arrive is going to keep us from ever arriving. So I would, anytime I caught my reflection in the mirror, whether it was the rear view mirror in the car or walking past some glass, I would just stop and I would say to myself, hey, beautiful, and that's it. And then keep moving. So again, feeding my self-value. The next thing that I did was I started using some declarations, and I would tell myself, I am worth $100 an hour. And then I'd get good with that. And then I'd be like, no, wait a minute. I am worth $250 an hour, until the point where I could get up to high numbers and really believe it. To be able to ask for $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $15,000 a month, you really have to have determined that your value is that high and then provide deliverables that match it. And when I got to that point where the personal value was in place, I found that it was really easy to put together high-end offerings, because once I knew that my value was I was worth investing in, then I could say, okay, I'm creating a $15,000 a month experience. What is that going to look like? Or I'm creating a $250,000 experience. What is that going to look like? When your value's in place, it's not hard to put together the value and the deliverables and create wins for clients. So that really started to get sales moving. The last thing that I did as I was working to increase my personal value was I took evidence of the good that I was doing around me. So I would get testimonials and the nice things that people would send me, the messages where they would say, oh my gosh, Amy, I was on your training the other day. Thank you so much. This totally helped. Here's what's happened since. I'd save those and I would go to them and look over them and remind myself, like, hey girl, you are doing it. You got this. You're doing great things out in the world. Now, let's be clear that you can't just think I'm worth so much money, so you charge it and you provide a crummy experience. They've got to match. But my guess is that you already provide a good experience. My guess is that you already are good at your core service and that it's time for you to really increase your value so that you can get your prices up where they need to be. You don't want to be competing for the lowest priced product, because then you're always going to have the audience who will go wherever the deal is, and they're not very loyal. You want to be able to show that you are of high caliber and high value, even when you have a low price point, because that's where the loyalty comes from. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and head over to Facebook to join us in our private group, the CEO Spot. We're so excited for your journey as an entrepreneur. Make sure that you tell us how it's going with this increasing of value. And if this video was just super weird, that's okay. Let it sit. It'll percolate in. It took me a couple years as well, but I'll tell you, I've never regretted it. So subscribe, check us out in the group, and make sure you share with any friends that you think could use this conversation.